What is going on? Psych Perspective, GeoFlux here. Today is TDOV, hashtag TDOV. And what does TDOV stand for? Transgender Day of Visibility. And the reason why TDOV, and I'll have information about TDOV, Transgender Day of Visibility, in the description box below. But one of the reasons why we have TDOV is because, again, as transgender people, as gender variant people, it's really important to be visible or have visibility and representation, because we exist, we've been existing, we've been here for centuries. This is not a new concept, this is not a new reality. We've always been here. And it also is to bring awareness and attention to the lives of transgender people, or people who fall under the transgender umbrella. And again, you could be under the transgendered umbrella being intersex. You know, being born intersex. You have people who are, who are gender queer, gender fluid, agender, bigender, so they would follow under the transgender umbrella. Me, you know me, I'm very open, straight to the point, transparent. I, born intersex, identify as a trans man, as a trans masculine person, as a transgendered man, you know? So I'm visible, and I recognize my privileges, and I also recognize my disadvantages as well. But to speak about my privileges first, for me, I personally feel like it's a privilege to be able to be visibly trans, to be open and out about my trans identity. Now, I'm not going around screaming, I'm trans, I'm a transgendered man, I was born intersex. I'm not going around screaming that, and telling everybody that I'm trans, that I'm intersex, because quite frankly, it's none of your business. Again, if I'm not engaging in a sexual relationship with you, I don't see the purpose of telling random strangers that, hey, by the way, did you know I'm trans? Because you're not coming up to me screaming, hey, by the way, I'm cisgendered. By the way, I'm heterosexual. So I don't feel the need to turn around and tell and scream and let everybody in the world and random strangers know that I'm trans. However, I'm very open and honest about it. I don't see the point in keeping that type of information either on a personal level. Now, I respect other people. If they decide that they are going to be stealth, aka not out the closet with their gender identity, with their sexuality, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I respect people's decisions. You know what I mean? You feel me? So for me, it's a privilege to be able to be open and out, to be able to live my truths, to have the resources, to have healthcare insurance, to have a job, to be able to pay for my procedures. I paid out of pocket for the vast majority of my procedures. Yes, I have health insurance, but health insurance doesn't cover everything. You still end up having to come out of pocket. You feel me? And that's a privilege in itself, to even be able to have a job, to have income, to have health insurance, to be able to navigate the medical system that is extremely transphobic, extremely classist, again, because it's all about money, cash, what type of resources you have. And then, like I said, as a trans person, the transphobia that we face in the medical system, in the healthcare system, is ridiculous. The transphobia that we face on a day-to-day basis. I mean, shit, we can't go to the bathroom without people trying to figure out why you going to the bathroom. You can't play sports. Why are you playing sports? We don't want you to have health insurance. We don't want you to have, health care. There's all kinds of individual states across the USA passing anti-trans laws, making it difficult for people of trans experience to play sports, to go to the bathroom. They don't want you to say gay. But yet, and this is my thing. Yes, this is Trans Day of Visibility, but I'm going to say this. If you don't want people to talk about gender and sexuality all together, then that also would mean we're not going to be talking about heterosexual people and cisgender people either. It's funny, the only time y'all have an issue with gender and sexuality being discussed is when it's LGBTQ+. But we can grow up all day looking at Disney movies with the princess and the prince kissing and making out, and that's what 3 and 4 and 5 and 6-year-olds are watching, and that's okay. But the minute somebody is a part of the LGBTQ+ community, it's a huge problem. All of a sudden, what about the children? But it wasn't what about the children when we were literally watching princess and princes kissing each other and everything else. Y'all literally got t-shirts, clothing for little kids as young as infants and toddlers talking about I'm a ladies' man. But you don't want to talk about sexuality and gender. Okay. Anyways, so again, to talk about the disadvantages, again, it's the transphobia. I've been through a lot of different things. When I came out the closet in October 11th, 2018, for me, it was freeing, but it was also recognizing how you really don't have the support you think you have when it comes to family, friends, associates, what have you. Because again, when I came out the closet, literally 5-6 weeks later, I was essentially discarded by a person that I thought cared about me for coming out as trans. And that's not the only person. It's been a lot of the people that I used to hang out with and used to be buddy with. I don't talk to 90% of those people today. Okay. And I'm not going to necessarily say everybody's transphobic, but it's obvious that when I came out the closet, and started living my truths and affirming my gender as a trans man, things changed. Again, and it kind of makes you realize a lot of these so-called friendships are not friendships. A lot of these so-called family members are not family. And this is why in the LGBTQ+ community, we often talk about how you have to find your chosen family a lot. Because a lot of times, the family that you was born into, it will not, cannot, or it's going to take them a minute to accept you. So instead of sitting up, putting yourself in a situation where you are mentally abused constantly with the transphobia and the homophobia and just the ignorance and lack of information from them, instead of doing that, you go and you find a chosen family, people that support you, respect you, are there for you. They're not sitting up transphobic and homophobic, or they're working on themselves so they can get out of being a closed-minded bigot. Everybody don't have the privileges and the resources to do that. You feel me? And I've literally had to meet new people, get new friends, really work on what type of family I have. And my chosen family, I had to learn about boundaries. So much took place when I came out the closet. So it's just something to think about. And I feel like for me, I'm visible for myself. I'm visible for the other trans people or people under the transgender umbrella who are unable to be out the closet, who are unable to be as vocal. I'm also out the closet and visible for the children, because guess what? I was a trans kid who was forced to live as a cis woman. I literally had to cosplay as a cishet woman for basically damn near 26 years, and it was absolute hell. So I really do understand, because I was that kid. I knew as early as 4 and 5 years old that I didn't identify as a girl. I knew that. So I support trans children. I protect trans kids, protect trans women, trans men, trans masculine, trans feminine, gender fluid, gender queer, gender non-binary. You know, trans rights are human rights. Trans rights are civil rights. I don't get how you can justify discriminating, harassing, killing off an entire group of people and then say all lives matter. If all lives matter, then trans lives matter. I don't get how you can say black lives matter and then turn around and you're killing black trans women at an alarming rate. And let's not forget trans men, trans masculine people. We are being denied health care. We are also being murdered and killed and discriminated against. And again, if black lives matter, then black trans women matter. Black trans men matter. Black trans lives would matter. It's time, in my opinion, to check your hypocrisy and your double standards. You know, if you can understand racism and you can understand sexism and you can understand classism, then you should be able to understand what transphobia is, what homophobia is. Because again, you're discriminating against an entire group of people based off of one characteristic about that person. It's really ridiculous. Anyways, I'm visible. And I do want to send love to all of my trans family, folks, people out there. And I want to say that you are loved, you matter, you are valued, you deserve to be here, you deserve to thrive, you deserve to live your best life. Point blank, period. And it's all love. But transphobia, homophobia, that's no good.